Okay, so I'm Lastsincommited. You guys saw Ice Blue run any percent of this last night. There are a couple people who run this category as well, namely Hio24. He runs sort of on a brick. I'm really OCD at collecting all the stuff possible, so when I do this, I'm going to go after everything, like even the blue ring, all the boomerangs, all the swords, not really all the money, but all the main items. I'm going to get them. It's sort of my way of honoring something I used to do with my dad, so on and so forth. So that is my version of this game, and that is my 100%. So I'm going to get started here. I'm going to either use the boy or a girl. I'm leaning towards the girl, but I've named them SNES and SNES to go with this because I couldn't fit SNES Super Stars. So either way, I'm going to try and have fun. I'm slightly sedated thanks to an earlier thing I had to do with the doctor, but I'll try to make this as uplifting as I can. But we have a good 2 hours together. I'm going to be running this, Super Ninja Kun, the Power Rangers Turbo, which you saw Bedwa run the other day in Good Ending, and Cran Shin-Chan, which you saw Gigas Blues run earlier this morning. It's in here again. And then The Adventures of Kid Cleet's Good Ending, which I also did last year for this marathon. So let's get things started. Let me click on a timer here, and 3, 2, 1, off we go. I know I started the timer a little bit early, but this isn't for a PB run or anything. This is just for me. Okay, like Ice Blue tried to explain, this is Zelda 1, and it has been remade for the SNES satellite, the Satellaview. They released it in multiple parts, but this map that we're using has... somebody basically hacked it, took the timer off, and made it one giant, continually played game, which I enjoy better. I've played, well, more, I should say, is the proper syntax. I've played the BS series after I got my EverDrives and stuff, and I've learned that playing with the timer, it really doesn't allow you to explore much. It kind of limits you in a lot of ways, especially with the game they released, the Ancient Stone Tablets. That was not fun. My friend gave me another one that was produced on a Chinese-like cart, and you had to reset to switch games on that one. That was a headache. So having this game as one giant whole is actually really enjoyable and somewhat relaxing to me compared to those. But either way, this is not the same as the NES one anyway. Yes, it has the kind of like look to it, like dungeons, a little bit of the feel, but the controls are better. You have 8 directions. You still have the sword and everything like the NES version, but a lot of stuff just overall works and feels better in this version. And you have a choice between the characters. Since this... okay, that is weird. This game wasn't properly defined in the series as to where it was. It has a lot of openings, so It may be called The Legend of Zelda in a way, but here, this is a way of showing it off. This map is an S as to where the original one was not. It was like a dragon or something. So it left a lot of openings, though, so that you could play the Zeldas in order to be defined later, like A Link to the Past, everything else. It was kind of all lined up as to where they belonged with the Historia, which they made later on, or as I call it, the big book on a shelf that doesn't fit. But mainly my reason for playing this is I have a few games that I have good memories with, family and other stuff, like my dad, my cousin, and this is the one with my dad. His version was the NES one, so I kind of picked this one up and ran with it. And I'm trying not to die, but I guess that was inevitable. The big difference between this and when I was a kid is now I know where everything is, so I kind of want to do it, get everything, because everybody told me when I was a kid, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not going to find this, you're not going to find that. Well, yeah, I finally found everything. The other thing that I enjoy about this is when I was a kid I didn't know about glitches and all this other stuff, and I do some games with glitches. I mean, who doesn't at this point? It's just, if I can, I enjoy putting in the work as fast as possible, like before I was aware of stuff like, why am I even going after these guys? Before I was aware there were glitches and everything possible in games. Because it's how I grew up. But I still run games with glitches, especially stuff like Mega Man and all that. I was actually on the other day with Infinite Mystery, who hasn't been around often as of late, and we were both remembering how long it's been since we did something with a need for a really big glitch in it, and let's just say our times were not up to where we wanted them to be. Okay, I'm through Dungeon 1, this is Dungeon 2, this is pretty straightforward. This one only has, just like the original, and even though it's not in the same spot, the boomerang. Now I can conserve some bombs, and even still, in this one, the Dongo is the enemy I'll be facing. We'll try and make up some time here by not taking, just running. Timing is also a little bit better and stuff like that. The Dodongo could eat bombs in succession in this one. But that's 2 dungeons down. Now it's time to go and collect the stuff. So first I'm going to start off by trying to refill normal stuff like bombs, more money. Try to get these patterns of these enemies back on track to what I'm used to. But here we are. Pick up 1. The old man with a letter. This is also one of the first things that's been moved in this game compared to the NES one, besides like the maps that are different. If you notice that the layout is different on the overworld too, like I shouldn't be able to do stuff like that and turn up a bunch of money again. And yes, I do need a certain amount of money through this game to pick up the items, including the shield, which we don't use at all in this run. I'm going to get that at the end when I'm about to face off against Ganon. That I can say. And aside from bosses, the hearts are all over the world mapped with the decision of will you take the heart or will you take the medicine type things. And there's also a neat gimmick with the shop, which I'm going to be using. After Dungeon 5, prices decrease for a short amount of time, where I can go and I can purchase. We're going to be buying the arrows for half price. Rather than 100 rupees, it's going to cost us 50. And we also have to find stuff like the bombs in Dungeon 4, pay those off. I'm saving up right now for the meat and blue ring, which I'm going to grab before I go to the 3rd dungeon, which is on the way. Which I also need this candle for, because technically this is one of the, I said this game was originally timed on this Teleview. You wouldn't be able to go to the 3rd dungeon or past the point over here because of a barrier created, and you needed a candle to get past that barrier, which you couldn't buy until the next part of the game was released. But this one already has the timer done. You can just go right past with a candle, and we can go on to the next 2 dungeons, which are on this side. There's a lot of gimmicks like that in this game. There's not only the timer for those, there's the red ring is hidden over here too. You can't access it until you get to the end of the 6th dungeon, which opens up the time lock for the 7th and 8th. I think that also unlocks the fact that you can get the Master Sword in this instead of the Magical Sword, which they changed that up to. the bracelet, and I think the last heart piece. Okay, now I have some leeway because of the blue ring. I swear, every time I do this, my marathon luck shows up. Okay. Here's one of the heart choices. Always gonna take the heart on this. Just like Zelda 1 on the NES, the hearts are a trigger to release the swords, so we kinda need them. Now, here we are at Dungeon 3. Some of the dungeon items are not the same either. Like, this one is the same, but in Dungeon 4 you'll see it's not the same. If I'm right, on the NES one you got the raft. This one, you don't get the raft. This one also has stuff that you don't get in the other games too. Like, there's going to be a powered up boomerang, which can actually hurt enemies. Infinite bombs at a point after Dungeon 7. It just triggers an infinity sign over your bombs. And no Dungeon 9. This dungeon also has 2 items. I want to get the blue boomerang while I'm here. And these guys are guarding it, along with their fire-flinging pals. Okay, that's taken care of. Push the block until I kill them. There are also different puzzles than the other games too. At least some of them. I wasted my last 2 bombs on that guy. Okay, that's dungeon 3 down. I have a couple things to pick up. Then we'll go on to dungeon 4, and this includes the white sword I'm going to grab, because we're here in the forest. It's not triggered that you have to basically be hugging the wall the whole time. Sometimes it's really hard because you overstep, or the screen loads slightly slow. Okay, I have enough rupees to grab the 2 things that I need to grab along the way. I don't think Ice Blue showed this off, but to trigger this, when you first enter that screen, you have to just go up again, then left, down, and left, and it triggers the graveyard, which in this game, it's not connected like in the NES game, so you have to go through the Lost Woods. Still has the Lionels though. And here we go. Now I have a somewhat usable sword that I can rely on. Wish I could speed this part up. Now, this is where I'm going to kill these guys off. And this is so I can do this. Here's the old woman waiting for the letter. Hidden underneath the bush. Now, that's another of the required items I need to get out of the way. And what I needed the other money for is the bomb upgrades in here. This is dungeon 4. Just so you know, I can't grab things like that with a boomerang in this, otherwise this would be so much quicker. Okay. Grab that key. These guys, that guy. Waste a little bit of time here. The reason why I killed those guys is I'm hoping that they stayed dead until I come back here. Because some of the monsters stay dead for a set period of screens until you re-enter them, which helps me out in the long run. Just like those bombs, I'll stay there until I'm back in the screen. And this screen has three purposes. One, a key. Two, the bomb upgrade. And then here, instead of the raft, you've got the ocarina, or what should have been the flute in the NES game. Just like the NES game though, this is not just a trigger for one of the dungeons, it's also a teleporter, but the thing is, it's 110% random as which direction it will send you. I discovered last night during one of my runs that based on the time in the game, it sent me to the wrong dungeon location rather than the usual one that it sends me to, and I had to really backtrack pretty far to get to Ganon. I still saved time, but it took a lot longer than any of the other locations. When you do this, you really want Dungeon 1, or maybe even 3, to be your teleport point. Dungeon 4 is down. Now we're gonna make a break for Dungeon 5. Now in the NES game, you wouldn't have to do anything like I'm about to do to get to Dungeon 5. You could just traverse the land and get there on your own. It's basically hidden in the desert. This one, travel. Here, up here. This is the desert, by the way, if you couldn't tell. But here we are at Dungeon 5, and unlike the NES one, this guy is out here selling a potion at all times for 10 rupees. So they really wanted you to live. And I don't know why I just killed these guys. This is also a dungeon where, as you can see, these are the regular specters that don't mind. They just cause a slight delay in your character sprite. The ones that glow like a rainbow color can cause a lot of problems in this game. Namely, they could at times glitch your sword. I found a way to reset it without saving and quitting. But before I found that, I literally had to save, quit, and continue. And I'm going to try not to run into that guy right there. Seems to be that room, a room in Dungeon 7, and a couple other rooms with those guys in it that can trigger that slight glitch that happened with this file that I'm playing on. But either way, I'm going to have to do backtracking in this dungeon. And bribe the guy with a meat like in the NES version. So, push the block. here. Last thing I wanted to do was run out of bombs. Okay, my sword still works. And we have the ladder. This is one of those parts where I'm really happy I don't have the wooden sword. Take about 8 hits to kill those things. Okay, we are almost out of here. Let's go back and get this key down here now that we have the ladder. Since dark nuts went well. Okay, and that's the end of Dungeon 5. Now we're gonna go get 2 heart pieces, try and use this flute too. But just don't want to trigger my bad luck. Okay, yeah, there we go. That worked out perfectly. One heart piece. I'll just shake this way around. Now, as you can see, the arrows were 100 before, now they're $50 instead, or 50 rupees. So now I'm primed for Dungeon 6, because I will be facing Goma as the boss. As I call him, one arrow to the eye and he's done. His brothers in Dungeon 8 are slightly more annoying. They take 2 arrows, and there's 2 of them, and they are on a timer. And I'm not too worried about my health at all right now. But if you were used to Dungeon 7 being the one underwater, this game is not the same in any way. We got a Dungeon 6, which is instead underwater. Probably should have mentioned this earlier, but one of the good points, in my opinion, to this game is that, unlike with Zelda 1, you had the NES controller, which had, well, 4 buttons and a directional pad. So, if you wanted to change items, you had to press start, then you had to change the item, you had to press start again. In this one, they decided why not let the player have the option of using L and R to scroll through weapons. So it makes things a little bit simpler. Although when you're in a rush, though, sometimes if you're like me, you'll just be trying to hurry through things and go past the items. But I enjoy this system a lot. show this off. Starting here, in every dungeon there will be a fairy just in case you need help. Alright, didn't shoot at first, but still worked out. That's Dungeon 6, and after we exit this, you will see the final boomerang appear. Sorry if there's an echo in the mic. I can't do anything about that until I swap games. There's a feedback issue caused by OBS and the program that I'm using. I've also been having problems with the Windows update, and it blew out my capture card a week ago. So, yeah. Sorry about the echo. Okay, this is the Master Sword. Last heart piece. And the power bracelet. This is the last complicated dungeon, in my opinion. And I'm going to be grabbing an extra key to be safe. good on money till the end of the game. There's that fairy I was talking about. Yeah, the item. Make my life easier by doing that. Now my sword works. A harder version of the first dungeon boss. And that's tough. one more dungeon and we're done. And after I exit this, we will get the infinite bombs. As you can see, I have an infinity sign up there now. Got the silver arrows, we're ready for Ganon. There we go. Aside from the shield, that was the last item we will be picking up in the game. Safest Dodongo fight in the game, and I can have one issue with the boss. That fight's done. Just bypass this guy. Worst part about this dungeon is the waiting. Okay, that's that. Dungeon 8's done. Now we go into the somewhat dark world, as I call it. Ganon has Zelda. He has his Triforce, or well, has Link in this case. Yeah, this time I'm playing the part of Zelda. Dungeon 4. We have to backtrack. Stop over here. Okay. Just to show it off. All the items except the meat. We gave that to the guy in Dungeon 5. Now, of all the places to put Ganon. Here he is. Hold up our Triforce. Then we spend time collecting again. That opens the doorway. And here we go. Two hits down. Three hits down. And Ganon's dead. Now the timer does not end until we escort Link out of here and you see the screen fade to black. So here. Now they start talking, and that's that. Done. Not bad. 55. But that was BS Legend of Zelda. That was a Teleview version that they remade called Third Quest with no timer. Like I said, it's like Ice Blues Run, but this one I got literally everything in the game. I didn't skip stuff. I didn't skip the blue ring. I didn't skip white sword. I did not skip getting the potion, the bomb upgrade, nothing. I just got it all. And that's my way of doing this. So I'm going to set up for the next game. So I'll see you in a moment.